Hello and one and all, and welcome back to my Bond film series on my YouTube channel. Now, I know it's been a while since I've done this. It's been like a month since I've reviewed. The last time I reviewed Octopussy and Never Say Never Again, because, you know, Never Say Never Again was the same year release as Octopussy, the unofficial Bond film Never Say Never Again, so I just thought why not combine them together. Decided to have a wee break and do some horror stuff, but I originally couldn't, apart from one review. Life got in the way, but I am back talking about Bond anyway, just to get them all done and over with. And we are on to back onto Bond, the official series where we talk about Roger Moore's last Bond film in the series, and that is A View to a Kill. And yes, A View to a Kill is once again directed by John Glenn, the third time he's directing a Bond film since this is like the 80s and John Glenn area. These 5 Bond films, from For Your Eyes Only to License to Kill, if you know what I mean. And this is the 14th Bond film. It has Tanya Roberts as Stacy, Grace Jones as Mayday, Christopher Walken as Max Zorin, and you have Patrick McNee in this one, and it's also Lois Maxwell's last time playing Moneypenny. So guys, like with all my Bond reviews and any other classic reviews, this is going to contain spoilers, so if you've not seen A View to a Kill, definitely watch it first, so you've been warned. And so we get the final gun barrel sequence with Roger Moore, the usual gun barrel sequence, and this time it's a bit blurry this time around. This gun barrel, it's a lot whiter than the usual gun barrel sequences, but it's a cool one anyway. And I love the shot onto the helicopter that it leads into, onto the pre-title sequence. And we have a pretty cool skiing scene, despite the fact how we have California Girl music for a bit, which really needed to be taken out. If you would have taken out the California Beach Girls song, then this whole pre-title sequence would have been so much better. It would have been so much better. And yes, we get introduced to the comedian of the Bonds, the Robin Williams, the Bill Murray of Bonds, the only Bond that is dead at the moment, according to now. Roger Moore's age, oh boy, 57. That's really old for a spy. And yes, that's the current age Tom Cruise is, and Tom Cruise is still able to do some stunt work. But here, Roger Moore's age, it just shows out throughout the whole movie. That's the real problem with A View to a Kill. And yes, we are going to get to more problems soon as we go through the movie. But yes, I do kind of understand why they needed him back in For Your Eyes Only and Octopussy, because, you know, but bringing him back for A View to Kill, I'm like, why? Because he's just way too old to play Bond according to that time. But we're not getting to some more criticisms yet, where we get the great titles and really great Bond song, With a View to a Kill. Yeah, such a brilliant Bond song, definitely one of the best, up there with Live and Let Die and The Spy Who Loved Me. Though 3 to me are some of the great Bond songs from Roger Moore. It's up there with Goldfinger and Thunderball, and some other Bond things which we'll go into in the future. And after that, you get to see Lois Maxwell's Moneypenny in this sort of weird pink dress, but hey, it's her last time playing Moneypenny anyway. And then you get to see all the MI6 characters, and then we're of course introduced to the villains at this horse place. Matt Zorin, played by Christopher Walken, and Grace Jones, who plays Mayday. I'll get into the villains a little bit, because those are some other highlights of the movie. And yes, and then we're in Paris, where Bond is talking to this guy, and then gets killed by a fake hook butterfly. If you know, just in the neck where is a hook on a fake butterfly, and then Bond goes after Mayday, and you see some really cool stunt work with Grace Jones, Mayday, and then Bond steals a car from someone. It gets wrecked, gets halfly cut, and and then you get to see Mayday and Max Zorin starting to have this sort of training fight scene. Okay, we'll get to the villains a bit. So, Max Zorin, played by Christopher Walken. Now, he's not the best Bond villain, but he's definitely up there. I mean, the villain Leia is great, which we'll get into later. That's really what he also basically does in the movie. He doesn't really do much, as he's kind of a Goldfinger rip-off, but he's still a cool-looking villain anyway. Not the best, though. But Grace Jones is probably the better villain. Mayday. I mean, Jesus Christ, who can thought a henchwoman would be so strong and beat the shit out of anybody? Like, wow. And yes, guys, we get to the 50 Shades moment where Mayday has sex with Bond. Yes, that sex scene is just weird. I mean, yeah, just seeing Mayday's back and, Bond in the bed and everything, trying to fuck Bond. Yeah, not cool. Yes, and of course we are also introduced to Stacy, the main Bond girl, and yes, we'll get into her a little bit more. And yes, there's a bit of a weird scene with Stacy and Bond, and then where Bond is like, horses, and I cannot remember what Stacy said, but it was a bit of a weird scene. And also, Bond has this weird gadget where he has sunglasses where he can see through windows. Okay, and you see Bond, having a race fight, a horse race, sorry, against some other people and Max Zorin. As how I think of A View to a Kill. A View to a Kill is a pretty weird Bond film. I mean, and yes, we're going to get into some more of the film soon. Yes, you basically see Bond and Stacy getting trapped in the lift. Max Zorin puts the place on fire, and Bond and Stacy are trying to get out and everything. And yes, we get another awkward scene where, James, don't leave me! James! Just not cool. I mean, she's pretty, but inside, she's not. She's literally a pussy in this movie, and just, yeah, stupid Bond girl character. Just, wow. I mean, really, the prettiness is really all I can say. But inside, when she's like screaming, James, and getting kidnapped later on, which we'll get to. But yeah. And yeah, Bond and Stacy are in this fire engine. They're going off, and the police are catching after them. The bridge is sort of going up, and you see the fire engine go above. Then all the police cars are trapped It's a pretty dumb scene, you know, the ladder Bond is climbing on. No, it swings around and, you know, it's just all weird. But, yeah. And, you know, and later on, of course, we're finally at the villain's lair. It's a pretty cool lair, you know, there's a bomb in there and everything, you know. Max Zorin and his henchmen are making this hot air balloon. You know, they eventually teams up with Bond, gets the bomb out, but eventually kills us. And then Stacy is kidnapped. And yes, and we head off to the Golden Gate Bridge. What a view to a kill. Yeah, that was early in the film, but anyway, we're on to the final climax. The climax it's fine. But yes, Stacy again, annoying. Just annoying. You know, Bond starts fighting Max Zorin, and the old henchman's like, Max! Max! You know, like, bang, like, a sheep, basically. And then, you know, Max Zorin does the left. And eventually falls to his death, because, you know, long waterfalls can kill you. Yeah. Then after that, the henchmen start making a dynamite, but eventually Bond breaks the rope, and then the whole hot air balloon explodes, and yet we get back to the house, and then you get to see this probably one of the dumbest Q gadgets. We see a robot dog that can spy on Bond. Why? Why would you spy on a sex scene? It's not cool. Why would you even go there? Oh, James. And yeah, that sex scene in the bath, just no thank you. Alright, and yes, that's the film. So, of course, let's talk about the positives first, like we always do. I always do, anyway. You know, as I said, the A View to a Kill song, that's great, and the titles and the pre-title sequence is pretty good, despite if you take out the we'll get to the cons in a minute. The villains are great. The villains are probably the highlight of the movie. You know, Mayday is one of the best hench villains in the series, and Max Zorin's one of the best villains. It's not really saying much, because he's kind of a Goldfinger rip-off at parts, but yeah. And yes, there are some fine scenes, and Patrick Macnee, yeah, I'm sorry I pronounced his name wrong earlier, but Patrick Macnee is good in the movie as well. And now we get to the cons, the obvious one, that Roger Moore is just too old to play Bond 57. Wow. Yeah, and Tom Cruise didn't even age like Roger Moore did. It just shows, his age literally shows out throughout the whole movie. Yeah, that does not work at all. And the Bond girls, they are just too young. Yeah, way, way too young. Like, why not bring back one of the Bond girls from one of the previous Roger Moore Bond films? Because they were probably, some of them were probably Roger Moore's age at that time. I mean, or you could just cast Timothy Dalton and put him in this film, and then cast the Timothy Dalton Moneypenny into this. And yes, the MI6 characters, they're okay, but some of them are just looking very tired and weary. And of course, one of the biggest you know, complaints is, you know, Stacy, probably the most annoying Bond girl. Not the worst, but she's the most annoying. But, you know, just, James! Don't leave me! James! Okay, let's not go too far. But overall, guys, A View to a Kill is one of the weakest Bond films in this series. I mean, you know, there's good elements, you know, like I said earlier, and the and the California beach song at the pre-title sequence just doesn't work. You could have had some more John Barry music, for goodness sake, rather than that crap. Anyway, overall, guys, A View to a Kill is a very weird Bond film. And yes, when do we ever get a finale good Bond film? Because Diamonds Are Forever we didn't get, unfortunately. And Never Say Never Again, the unofficial Bond film, we never even got. But A View to a Kill, just no. I mean, it's not the worst film in the series, but it's probably one of his worst. I mean, at times it can be a guilty pleasure. Sometimes, you know, some action can be fun. But yeah, this movie, yeah, not good of a movie. So overall, on my rating scale for A View to a Kill, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Alrighty guys, that was my review and thoughts on A View to a Kill. Comment down below, let me know what your thoughts on A View to a Kill are. Do you think it's underrated? Do you think it was okay to have Roger Moore in this one? Where would you rank it with the Roger Moore Bond films in your opinion? Let me know below in the comments. And yes guys, since I'm reviewing this on the 7th of November, I'm planning to combine the 2 Timothy Dalton Bond films in one video. Do another combined Bond review since Timothy Dalton, has done only 2 Bond films, The Living Daylights and License to Kill. So look out for that video guys, I will be combining those together on hopefully around the 27th of November. And as always, comment, like, subscribe, all my social media links are in the description below. Share this video, don't forget to notify the bell before you leave. And as always folks, until my next video, I shall see you all then, and peace.